Welcome everyone here to the Smash Evening Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in the US because it is great to catch up with this US music artist over there. And of course, her name's Erin McAndrew. She joins us right now. Thanks, Erin, for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me back. It's great to be back again.
No worries. Well, tell us, how's it been like for you in this since we last had you on the show?
It's been good. It was a really, really good music year for me. Obviously the best year since the thing that shall not be named, right? It was 2022 was a really, really good gigging year. I was playing almost every weekend, which was almost too much, I think, in my book. But it was great. I played a lot of different venues in New Jersey where I live, and in Pennsylvania, which is really close to where New Jersey is. So I was doing a lot of that, and and I've gotten into writing a little bit more, some new stuff, and have some ideas of possibly hoping to self-record at some point this year, something very, very simple.
Now the venues that you performed and the locations that you performed around the East Coast, is there one that stands out to you?
There are a few. So there's an area of New Jersey called Cape May. And for people that are in the US that live on the East Coast, some from the West Coast may know, but there's an area called Cape May in New Jersey. It's like the southernmost of New Jersey. It's beautiful, beautiful area. And there's a few beautiful wineries that I play down there. So I would say that those are my favorites, and I'm excited because I'm going to be playing there almost every month this year between two that I play in that area. So it's a beautiful location, and it's really close to a lot of fun entertainment, great restaurants, and the beaches, obviously, as well. So I would say that those are definitely some of my favorites to play lately.
Now, I know that you have a fascination with wineries in your performances that you go to, especially especially when you were over in California when we last had you on the show. What's with performing like wineries that really fascinate you?
Well, I think one thing that I noticed when I first started getting out and playing at different venues is that, I've played restaurants, I've played breweries, I've played distilleries. There's a distillery I play in New Jersey that's really, really fun to play at. But I think that honestly, I just kind of fell into it because the type of music that I play, it fits very well with the winery atmosphere as well as people who come to wineries. So it's a very chill type music. Obviously I have some stuff that's a little bit more upbeat. But I do think that the vibe of the music pairs well with wineries. So I think that was one of the things, and also the fact that I like wine. I think that also helps as well. I'm not a big breweries are fun to play, but I also don't drink beer, so it's one of those things where I just don't like the taste. So it's what I like playing them, but I've still found that my musical genre and the type of music that I play pairs better with wineries than some of the other places that I've played.
I have to ask then, what's the goals for this year? As you mentioned, you will be performing a couple of shows again around the Jersey, Pennsylvania area again. Anything beyond that?
Yeah, so actually there's been, I'm trying to think of the last time that I spoke with you. I think it's been a while because there's been a lot of different changes that have happened over the past few years as far as my career goals are. So there is, I do have some original stuff I want to work on this year, and it's been a bit since I've released some original music. So I'm not planning on doing a whole album, probably just a few songs. But that's one thing I'm working on. I also I'm trying to think, I feel a pivot coming on in the sense of, there's more, I want more from my career and see like where else it can take me. So whether that be, I thought of, you know, creating a show where I play, you know, all these songs from like popular female artists from the 90s, and doing like a specific show on that, that people can come to. Whereas like wineries, I'm playing a little bit of everything, but this would be focused on like 90s female musicians. So that's like one idea I had in doing some kind of show with that. And then I've also been pulled to also like kind of get back to my roots, which is actually in musical theater, in and singing, and singing, and not necessarily Broadway, but like finding opportunities where I can use that part of my voice, because that's kind of where I'm, you know, deep down, like where my heart is sometimes. I obviously love performing all the other songs that I do and all the other music that I do. But so that's an idea. And then this is something that I haven't talked about here. And I'm pretty sure because I was just starting to, I think the last time we spoke, I was just starting to get into it and I was really not talking about it. So I've actually been diving into the world of voiceover. So I was actually in radio in college, and I have had this like itch for the longest time, that like I was like kind of in the back of my mind where I've always just wanted to pursue voiceover, whether that be commercial, narration, e-learning, radio, promos and stuff. So I started working with a coach back in what was it? October of 2021. So I've been at it for a little bit now, and it's something that I'm really, really excited about, really passionate about. There is like avenues that I can take it where I can utilize my singing career as well. So that's like one of my big projects that I've now and new career paths that I've taken on as well. So that's been really fun.
That you've got all these goals that you want to reach this year. Obviously, we're only at the start of the year. How you been juggling that with, obviously I know you've got a kid as well.
Yes.
As well. How you managed to juggle all that in performance? Have you actually taken your kids to any of your performances?
So he used to come a lot when he was really little. And then this past year we kind of took a break from bringing him, and my husband would watch him just because he was kind of at the point where he was just like, you know, he's very, very active. So he just wouldn't sit still at places. And it always would like the timing would always fit right in his nap time when I would be playing. So this summer, we're definitely going to plan on bringing him to more of my shows. He knows, he's very aware that like, that's what mom does to work. So like, it's very cute that like, he knows like when I have my guitar on and I'm leaving the apartment that I'm going to work. So, but yeah, so he'll be coming. I mean, it is a juggle for sure. I thought I knew everything about time management, before, you know, I had kids, and then now I have a son, and it all changed. So somehow you make it work. You know, I work, you know, on the weekends. I have my gigs, and when I don't have my gigs, sometimes I do work on the weekends, but I do make sure that there's a balance of relaxing there as well. I'm not one of these people that like needs to work 24/7, right? But then it's finding those little pockets of time, in the afternoon and, you know, in the evening when my son goes to bed, and, you know, I usually get 2 or 3 hours, and, you know, I make sure that it's really focused time. So there's definitely ways that you can find time in your schedule,
Yes.
even when it is very busy and you're juggling like 2 careers on top of being a mother. So
You mentioned about, you know, you want to go back to your roots. Where did that all like begin?
So I began taking voice lessons back when I was 13, and I was involved in a lot of like the plays and musical theater in high school. And that was my main type of music that I would say that I would practice voice lesson wise, when I was practicing with my teacher. So that's kind of where that started, and that's where I feel like I really found my voice, and that's when I started to gain more confidence with my voice, is singing a lot of these songs that were very like belty, using those different parts of my voice. And you know, then I obviously pivoted a little bit to what I do now. But there's just something in me that loves that. I love that type of music, and show tunes and Broadway and everything like that, which, for most people that have known me a long time know that about me. But if you don't know me all that well, you may not know that about me. So yeah, so it's finding, maybe little opportunities here and there, that might surprise people because they don't hear me sing that type of music very often.
Do you have one to the other? Like, do you prefer the voiceover side of things, or do you prefer the musical? I know you mentioned about it's not Broadway musical, but do you prefer one to the other?
Well, voiceover, it's definitely still very new and I'm definitely still like just getting started. I do have an agent, which is great. So I've been doing like the audition thing a lot, and I've been doing a few odd jobs here and there. So, that's obviously going to be like a slow climb, as like a lot of these things are. Um, I kind of see them both working in tandem. I mean, right now, I'd say like I have what's been working so far with my gigging and making some original music. And then voiceover obviously is a big part as well. The musical theater stuff, that might just be like something I do every once in a while if I can fit it in. And one of the things is I kind of like don't really know where to start with those kind of things. So that might take a little bit of time and research to see like what kind of opportunities could look like for that.
Let's go back to your music side of things. And you mentioned before that you're performing basically on the weekends. So what's your next couple performances for our friends that are over there in the US right now?
So this time of year, I know for you over there in Australia, this is like your summertime, right? Yeah, but right here it's obviously winter, so it tends to be a little bit slower in the winter as far as winery things go. But I do have two performances at the end of January, not this coming weekend, but the following. So I want to say it's 21st and 22nd. So I'll be playing at Cape May Winery in Cape May on the 21st, and then the 22nd I'll be at Working Dog Winery, which is in Hightstown, New Jersey. So it's a little bit more like north central. So yeah, so those will be two of the places that I'm at, and that's pretty much it for January, and then I have a few in February.
Two final ones before I let you go. The first one is for everyone that should follow your music, and obviously once you'll release your other ones that you've got coming up very soon, how can I go about it?
So I am on Instagram and Twitter at I am Erin McAndrew. Handles the same for both of those. And then my music website is erinmcmusic.com. That's erinmcmusic.com. You can also, if you're listening to this and you're not familiar with me, which most of you probably aren't, you can actually go to freemusicfromerin.com, and you just put in your name and your email, and then you'll get sent some free music by me. And just basically a few emails kind of with where we can get to know each other. I like to get to know the people that are on my mailing list, and I don't spam and send a bunch of emails, so you don't have to worry about that.
What would be your advice to people that should get involved in music, and maybe thinking about it as a beginner?
Well, one thing I would say is that if you're like just starting out, is definitely get a teacher, get somebody to teach you what you're looking to do, whether that be singing, whether that be playing guitar. Get yourself lessons, because that's the foundation, really. It's going to help build your confidence and get you some skills. I obviously took voice lessons for a very long time, and then before I really started getting out and playing guitar while I was singing, I definitely took lessons, because I did know the basics, but I didn't know them well enough, and working with a teacher just really helped build my confidence. So I would also say it's just, if it's something that you really want to pursue professionally, like, know that it's a long game, and that it's going to take a while for you to build up a rapport and to build up a foundation. And if you want to be a gigging musician, you have to start small. So this is something I could talk about all day with all of the advice that I could give. But those are the biggest things I would say is get lessons. And also, you know, when you're looking to release things, also getting help, like having people help you along the way, is going to be really, really beneficial.
Erin, it is awesome to have you back on the show. It's been
Yeah,
a
it's
while
great to be
since
back.
it's been a while since we had you on the show, and can't wait to hear your new releases sometime throughout this current year in 2023. And can't wait, and hopefully we'll get you back on the show again to hopefully talk about your new releases.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much for having me back.
No worries, and that's Erin McAndrew there. Of course, as she said, you can follow her on your favorite, of course, music streaming services, as well as her website, and of course on social media, which I will put all those up in the coming days. There's more on the Smash Evening Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.